In this video, we're looking at ideology, and we want to understand exactly what ideology means. Oftentimes, you hear the word ideology, ideology, and ideology. Ideology motivated them to do this, to do that, and so forth. What is it? So we want to take a look and make sure we are understanding this very key concept. Okay, so let's get started. So ideology, by way of definition, it's a set of beliefs, right? A set of beliefs. This is very important because it's a belief system essentially through which members of a group, right? Now it could be a society, it could be, a community. It doesn't have to be a group per se. It could be a community, society as a whole. But let's work with a group. So members of a group understand and explain the world, right? So the beliefs that enable them to understand and explain the world. And it is often responsible for how people interpret the world system. So they see the world system through their ideology. And again, ideology is a set of beliefs, right? It's a set of beliefs, and they see the world through their set of beliefs, essentially, ideology. And it says here, once again, it is often responsible for how people interpret world systems, right? And when we talk about world systems, we are talking about social, cultural, political, economics, and of course, religious as well, religious systems. All of those things comprise the world system, right? So how do they see the world system? Now, just take a look at this example. When we talk about ideology, let's say you have sunshades, right? So these are sunshades, right? And this is gray, right? The color is gray. So you see the world as gray, right? So your perception of the world is gray because you are looking at the world through gray glasses, right? And so let's assume that gray is belief, right? Gray is belief. So that means you are seeing the world through your belief system. And that belief system taints everything. And that forms your perspective and your reality. Essentially, your perspective and your reality are formed by the belief system. So if your glasses are gray, right? If your glasses are gray, you see the world through gray glasses or lenses, and your world becomes gray. If your glasses are blue, your world becomes blue. If your glasses are clear, your world becomes clear. That's ideology, essentially. Ideology then represents how you see the world, essentially. All right, so it says here, ideology, therefore, offers a framework that enables societal power and dominance, right? And people use ideology to dominate society all the time. We see it in communist countries. We see it during the colonial period, where countries were colonized based on ideology. The country coming in to colonize another country do so on ideology. They believe they have a right to colonize that country. They believe that they have the moral right and they are superior, and therefore they can colonize the countries they're colonizing. That's an ideology. So people do things based on ideology. They harm others based on ideology. They help others based on ideology as well. Ideology provides the framework for people to do things in society, for people to believe the way they believe in society. Ideology is responsible. So if people believe that certain group of people shouldn't be allowed to be in society, and then they start working towards that, even though that is totally wrong. They start working towards that. And we see how ideology has played out in our countries, in countries around the world. We've seen how ideology has played out in countries around the world where genocide happens because of ideology. Somebody's ideology doesn't believe that this set of people should be around, and so they effect genocide against this. But that's ideology. That's ideology. Or if they help certain group of people get to the next level, build capacity, have skills and so forth, that's also ideology. So ideology is a neutral term, really. Ideology could be harmful, it could be helpful. It's a neutral term. So ideology then is a set of beliefs through which members of a group understand, this is very important, understand and explain the world. How you see the world is based on your ideology. So, for example, another example is some people, not all, some people see homeless people as alcoholic, as troublemakers, drug addicts, losers, and so forth, right? And that becomes their ideology, and they see homeless people through that frame, and they are not willing to help because they believe that their condition is self-inflicted, right? But again, we know that homeless people, some of them are very hardworking, hardworking citizens who are falling on hard times. We know that, but ideology taints that view. Ideology doesn't allow that view to prevail. It just sees them as drug addicts, alcoholics, and so forth. That's when ideology becomes harmful because it is painting an entire group with a big brush. All right, so ideology is a set of beliefs through which members of a group understand and explain the world. It is often responsible for how people interpret world systems out there, the different world systems out there. It comprises social and cultural and political and economic and religious and military systems. All of those are systems, are world systems. Ideology, therefore, offers a framework to enable societal power and dominance. People remain in power based on ideology. We are the only ones that can rule this country. We have the intelligence, we have the knowledge and the experience to rule this country and to impose a certain ideology. People have that all the time. We see it all the time in countries around the world. So this is the concept and idea, the theory of ideology.